Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's have a look at Monster Strike, and then this video will be kind of a first for this channel, especially since I've come over to the JP version of the game. But this will be a review of a character from the new event Hatcher. Usually I do not, actually I never pull on like new events as they come out. I usually wait for collaborations or limited Hatchers or like Legends or Guardians. But here, you know, you beat all the quests, all the difficulty levels, and then you get that free pull. I did the free pull, and then I got one of the Hatcher monsters, the 5 stars, Sen no Rikkyuu. And then this is the one that I wanted the most, actually, mostly because of the artwork. That's pretty cool. And then, yeah, a lot of people, they see this artwork and they kind of compare her to like limited monsters, or like the quality of her artwork is like limited monster level. One thing about her is that she's sitting down. There's kind of a meme going on that sitting characters are more powerful. This got started with Lucifer, and then like Hunter King when he got his transcendent form, people like that. And then another interesting thing about her artwork is that she's facing like straight ahead and like just looking at you. Again, very strong characters usually have that sort of pose. So like Ben Zaiten, or people like that. So yeah, a lot of good feedback on the artwork, and I like it a lot too. Real quick, I'll talk about the evolution form. She's interesting. She's a bounce, power type, and then she has like Mech Slayer EL. So that's 3 times the damage with her direct attacks, and also her bump combo. Her bump combo is the homing shot 18. So it's pretty low per hit, like 1800 damage, but she gets the Robot Slayer EL, so that'll be 3 times the damage against the mechs, and then also those homing shots will hit 3 times each. So that's a bunch of damage, and people are thinking that she would be really good for one of the water temples where you get Abelberries. And then her strike shot is really interesting, 8 turns, and it's the same as Daikokuten, where she fires out the missile. And then that missile will kind of negate certain gimmicks that are in the near area. So like gravity barriers, and I think mines and maybe warps will also be destroyed by that missile. Very unique strike shot. Some people are saying it's like a null everything strike shot, but it doesn't really act that way. Because for one thing, the character firing that missile can't move that turn. So they're basically just kind of setting themselves up for the next turn. But it might be interesting to make it like easier for the other characters in your team to like move around and get rid of those gimmicks. So yeah, every other round, that's really interesting. I think it'd be fun to have one of her, but if I could have only one, I would pick the Ascension, and we'll look at that next. She is a Pierce with, she is a Blast type, and her stats are actually okay for a Blast type. HP and attack are decent, speed is slow. But she is a Pierce with Minesweeper L. That means she'll get 2.5 times the attack when she picks up a mine. That's pretty powerful, and then more and more we're seeing that you know, M or L or EL is much more preferable to the baseline one. She also has Null Wind, which still hasn't really become a necessary null ability, but better to have it than to not. And then on the gauge, she has the Strike Shot Reducer. She has the Bump Combo Critical Luck skill. And then she has the Tribal Pulse. And then she's the first character in the game to have the Blast type of the Tribal Pulse. So that's pretty unique. And then the Sub-Bump Combo is that short range spread, which is pretty good, even as a Sub-Bump combo on a Blast type. The Tribal Pulse is nice because it's like guaranteed damage, and then if you go into a quest where you know, everybody or many of the guys are the same class, you know, that damage will travel to all the characters on screen, so it can be pretty powerful. And then the Sub-Bump combo kind of covers the weakness of the Tribal Pulse as well, because the Sub-Bump combo, if you're close enough, it'll just hit the guy near you, and it can get you lots of hits as well. So it could be good against scorpions, or it could be good against characters where they're not part of the Tribal Pulse. And then a strike shot is interesting as well. This is the tackle plus giant white explosion. This is the same as Kali. So yeah, you go in there, you get stuck to the guy, and then you kind of like jiggle or you shiver and do lots and lots of hits, and then you explode in the white explosion. And then if your teammates are close enough to you, you'll set off their bump combos. So yeah, it's a strong strike shot and also versatile because it can set off the bump combos. One thing to keep in mind is that if you are on top of a healing wall or healing panel, your position will kind of jiggle, so you'll go in and out and you'll get lots and lots of healing. This will also happen for the needle panels or the damage walls, so be aware of that. As for high-level quests that she is good for, she's only good for like Taishakuten and Yamato Takeru Zero at the moment, but there's high hopes for this character. If they ever release like a high-level quest where it's like built around her, then she'll be really great and she'll have kind of like a niche that a lot of other characters won't. Ablebear is good for her. I would say Kin Strength and then the Sidekick as usual. She has the Strike Shot Reducer, so she doesn't need the Strike Haste, I think. And then overall, kind of looking at the Hatcher for this event, it's very, very good. All three of the characters are very worth pulling. A lot of people are comparing it to the Bakumatsu Hatcher from 2 Christmases ago, like after the Christmas event with Takasugi, Yoshida Shoin, and Perry, I think it was. All three of those characters were really good. They're still good now. So yeah, if you have some orbs left over, and maybe you don't care about Yu-Gi-Oh! And you don't care about Valentine's Day, and you don't care about Guardians and Legends, then it would be very worth to pull in this Hatcher, because again, all of these characters are pretty strong, and I'm very glad to have pulled Sen no Rikkyuu. Okay, but anyway, let's bring her to a quest, and then I'll bring her to one of the quests that I mentioned just now, which is Taishakuten. I'm still working on making the max luck of Taishakuten. Maybe 2 more times we'll do it. But yeah, I think I'm going to put Sen no Rikkyuu in there as my one of my main party members. Before I was using Kuhuri, who is solid, but Sen no Rikkyuu has some more interesting abilities, so I'll put her in there. My max luck is Tsukuyomi. She's a Pierce with Minesweeper, and then the Deity Slayer, which will work on the boss. And then King, still one of the best characters I got. He's a Pierce with Flight and Null Block. And then the, what is it? The Weak Point Slayer. So yeah, he's always a good source of damage, and he has a lot of maneuverability in the stage because he has Null Block. But once you get used to the stage, I would say you don't really need Null Block. And then my friend is going to be Solomon Ascension, and she's really good for this quest, and I'm happy to bring her here because that will give me a chance to talk about her as well. I'll talk about Sen no Rikkyuu, of course, but yeah, I have used Solomon for a little over a month, and yeah, now I can take the time to kind of talk about how what I think about her. As for her evolution, Solomon, I haven't used her much besides like the monster review that I did earlier, and I've never really felt like a need to have her. But if I ever did get 2 of Solomon, I would like to make that evolution version. She will be good. The Ascension version is really, really good. She's been really good in a lot of Super Extreme quests lately, which I've been very grateful for, since I always like to make those max locks. But yeah, anywhere with weak points, she's queen. But then the bomb throw is also really strong. It's kind of tricky to use because, you know, it follows the character that hits her. But yeah, if you can kind of plan your path, you can get a lot of damage out of that bomb throw. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. And then using 2 of Solomon Ascension together is really good, because the bomb throw will act as a blast bump combo. So yeah, if you do get hit by that bomb throw, you can set off bump combos. And so if you have 2 Solomons, you know, working together to set off each other's bump combos, that's a lot of damage, especially if there are weak points on screen. Strike Shot is good. You know, it gives the barrier to the first character you hit, and then you know, gives the speed and power up. That's a solid bump combo, or strike shot. And then that speed and power up strike shot is kind of the best for like high level quests, especially lately, because we're seeing like the enemy's defenses are such that bump combos don't really do a lot of damage. So getting the speed and power up is kind of the best strike shot to have. So I really like Solomon Ascension, and then I'm still debating whether or not like she is necessary to pull now, however. She's been really useful for me so far, but nothing like super high level. All the quests that I've used her in otherwise, you know, they're either super extreme quests or like high level quests that are a little bit older, like Tai Shakten here. So I would say there's no like urge, desperate urge to get her now. But she is a lot of fun, and she's very powerful. Alright, but we're moving right along here. And then Sen no Rikkyuu, she has the Tribal Pulse. This is really useful in this stage, because if you can hit the Cupid or the Hunter guy, then you can get damage on both of those guys in that group, and so it's pretty easy to take them down in the same turn, and so end that resurrection loop. It's not as good as Solomon Ascension here or Setsuna. Their bump combos are a little bit easier to use in order to get rid of pairs of guys. But for this mission at least, the Tribal Pulse is kind of a nice like a poor man's version of it. I mean, damage-wise, it'll get the job done, same as the other two. It just relies a little bit on the positioning of the character, because she needs to be closest to one of those characters. Tai Shakten as a character, I think she's one of the impossibles that is more worthy of making the max luck. She's a Pierce with a null gravity barrier and null damage wall, which is very rare for a drop monster. So to be able to get a max luck of that would be very cool. Strike Shot is very strong. It's the speed and power up, and then like the first enemy she hits, she'll put a target down, and when she stops, she'll shoot out like a barrage shotgun towards the target. That's the same as Alice Transcendent. So yeah, people are pretty aware of how powerful that is. Alright, so there I changed my shot so I could pick up Solomon's bump combo, so that hopefully I will get hit by the bomb throw and then set off Sen no Rikkyuu's bump combo. But I guess Sen no Rikkyuu, she stopped too suddenly, so she wasn't able to be hit by the bomb. But yeah, using the bomb throw to set off bump combos is not a guaranteed thing. Yeah, we did see it there with King, but yeah. It's especially unreliable when you are going through warps. So yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, we've entered the boss phase. We'll get rid of the pairs of little guys, and then we can hit the shield things here, and then go after the boss and do damage there. And then Sen no Rikkyuu's Strike Shot is built up, but the Strike Shot is actually not great for this mission, because we don't need the White Blast for the set off the bump combos. Bump combos don't do a ton of damage in here to the boss. And then the tackle is also kind of inconvenient because, you know, we have to hit the shields first and then hit the boss, and then we can do damage, so... but yeah, I would imagine in Yamato Takeru Zero, this strike shot would be very strong. Alright, here too, let's go for Solomon's bump combo. Alright, that worked out. Yeah, there we saw the tribal pulse go into the shield, and so do no damage to the boss. So that can be a disadvantage of the tribal pulse, if it goes just into the wrong target, you know. So yeah, she is a little bit dependent on the her positioning. But actually her strike shot can help with that. You know, you can tackle, you can get stuck to the guy, and then the next character, that axe, can hit Sen no Rikkyuu, and then, you know, get the damage in on the target that you want. Okay, last stage. It's tricky getting all of these 4 guys in one hit, but having a bump combo like Solomon or Sen no Rikkyuu or Setsuna is going to help you a lot. Okay, that was fine. But yeah, there again we saw the tribal pulse go into the shield instead of the little guys, so yeah. Oops, I guess we didn't take down the little guys. Yikes, still no. Alright, but next up is King. He has a lot of mobility, so with him we'll probably just try to hit the bump combos. And then here Sen no Rikkyuu is in good position, so we'll see the tribal pulse go into everybody. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then with the boss alone, we'll just go after her. And just for fun, we'll use her strike shot. We'll put the barrier onto Sen no Rikkyuu. Okay, pretty good. Very good. Yeah, I really like the barrier. I guess the most similar strike shot would be Amaxare Ascension from the Godzilla collaboration. When she stops moving, she puts that barrier around herself. That was the one character that I never got from the Evangelion Revival Hatcher when it came around. I didn't mind very much at the time, because I wanted Asuka. I did get her. But yeah, it's nice now to have Solomon now. Okay, let's use Sen no Rikkyuu's strike shot, so we'll tackle the guy. Alright, not a lot of damage, but with the White Blast we'll set off the bump combos. In a normal stage, where you can do just direct damage, that will be much more effective. Okay, and that was Tai Shakten. Okay, so that was, yeah, the first monster review of like a current event Hatcher character, Sen no Rikkyuu Ascension. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.